call you?
Houston, I suppose.
Okay, Houston. You know, I was a bit hesitant when your profile didn't provide a picture. But I guess everyone has reason to hide things from time to time.
So, what was your reason for not putting up a picture?
I found that men didn't respond to my messages if I did. It's easy to lie about your age with a number, but pictures are harder to work around. You?
I should have stopped taking pictures of myself a while ago. It seemed like a waste. You look nice tonight.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks. Blind dates always start out so awkward.
You know, saying a situation is awkward only makes it more awkward.
I suppose it does.
You must go on these a lot to know that?
No, this is maybe my third or fourth date through this site. You?
It's been pretty lonely as of late, and it's nice to have a human connection from time to time. I used to set myself up with people from work, mutual friends of friends of friends, but it gets a little difficult to keep a personal life personal when you keep dipping out of the same honeypot over and over again.
You mentioned work. Where might that be?
I'm a receptionist at a beauty salon. It's a few blocks from here, actually.
Beauty salon. That explains why you look so beautiful tonight.
I try. And you? Your profile doesn't say where you work.
I'm a handyman. I do things with my hands. Sometimes that's fixing stuff, nothing specific, just whatever needs to get done. It's garbage disposals, washing machines, sinks. Not much I haven't stuck my hand into.
I'll bet. You sound like quite a catch. Women like men that can fix stuff.
So I've been told all my life. Family.
Let's come back to that.
Here, Rosie, have some bread.
Excuse me?
Have some bread, Phoenix.
Oh, I love the smell of fresh baked bread.
Me too.
When I first moved away from home, the first apartment I got was above the bakery.
Did you live alone?
No, but we kept it for hours. I had it in my mind I wanted to be a writer, but I couldn't seem to put anything down on paper worth sharing.
Who was he?
He was an actor. He was someone I loved very dearly at the time. We were engaged. I would have followed him to the end of the world. And I did.
That sounds sweet.
It does, doesn't it? But the problem with following someone is they rarely look back. He was moving too fast for me, I guess. With his acting, he spent most of his days going from audition to audition, class to class. And then at night, he'd stumble through the door. And we'd sit together. He would read through plays, I would try to write, but we'd be together, and that was enough for me. Then. And then at about 4 in the morning, the immigrant bakers would come into the bake shop downstairs, and that old French song Louis Armstrong covered, La Vie en Rose, would come floating up into our apartment. And we'd dance. It was like something out of a movie. Truth be told, I was horrible at it, dancing. But he knew what he was doing. And he'd lead me. And I'd follow.
Whatever happened between you two?
You know, it goes like it goes.
Like the river flows.
What?
You know that old song from, what's the movie? Norma Ray. I can barely remember the film, but the song was in my head. Ain't no miracle being born. People doing it every day.
Ain't no miracle growing old. People just grow that way. Yeah, my husband used to sing that song a lot.
He has good taste in music. But, you know, I always thought it was peculiar. That first line, ain't no miracle being born. I don't know what they were smoking when they wrote that line, but they sure got it wrong. I remember when my daughter was born, I looked at her and I thought, damn, that's an ugly baby. I mean, her head was lumpy and it's kind of shaped like a raisin. But You know, at that moment in time, that was my definition of beauty. My wife and I weren't working at the time. We really couldn't afford to raise a child, but these things happen. We weren't really the type for steadied or salaried jobs. You know how it is.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, I used to sing that song to her at night to get her to fall asleep. She was kind of like a bat, nocturnal and whiny, but eventually she'd fall asleep and we had the house to ourselves for a few hours before we had to wake up. You know something? I don't think people really like children. They're kind of messy and kind of smelly, but when they're sleeping, they're absolute angels. I do think people like what children represent, you know? It's a family and a new phase of life. Bring that with a couple of parents who really didn't know what they were doing. Couldn't afford to raise a kid. It was a hell of a ride, but I was happy. We were happy.
Then you grew up, Dan.
Houston.
Houston. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps on at this petty pace from day to day. It goes like it goes. On and on and on. Remember when it all began? It's so fast, so exciting.
You meet her, you fall in love.
Profess your undying love to him, move in together.
Get engaged.
Get married. Then the honeymoon's over.
And reality hits. You know, you spend your youth working hard. Working yourself bare, just hoping that one day it'll pay off. Your effort will come to something. And then one day you're 40 and you're still running from audition to audition, but instead of being told, oh, you're too young and inexperienced, it's we're too old and we're looking for a younger actor.
And at home, even though the income stops, children still need to eat, go to school. It's hard, you know. Can't afford to stay home, can't afford to hire a sitter. Can you work around a screaming child? I couldn't. When my publisher dropped me, I was utterly lost. Listless, but constantly scrambling. No career, no inspiration, a husband too tired to care. Days just seem to drone on and on, don't they?
Yep. And at the end of the night, when all your work is done, you slink back into bed.
And he's there, just like before, but not in the same way, not really.
You love her, you still do, but you're no longer dancing together. You're each separately flailing.
Grasping at anything within reach. You used to him holding you, guiding you, feeling the pressure from his fingertips, moving you to the rhythm of the music.
When in truth, he's just as lost and confused as you, stumbling through an unfamiliar song with no meter or no cadence.
And you realize you're both just tripping each other up.
So you look for something new. You trek through bars, you go through coworkers, all looking for something outside of your sphere.
But it's not something you've lost. I mean, it's not something new, it's something you've lost. There comes a point in your relationship where you have to ask yourself, have we hit a wall? Is it just maintenance from this point on? Courtship, engagement, marriage. What else is there to build to?
A family? A daughter?
Is that enough to sustain a marriage for the sake of your child?
Well, we don't really have any other choice, do we, Rose?
Phoenix.
Rose.
Phoenix!
Stop this, Rose.
Or what, Dan? What are you doing here? What are we doing here? We both know what happens after tonight. Nothing. Nothing ever happens. I've been seeing other men for the better part of a year now, and nothing ever happens. I sure as hell haven't slept with anyone of you.
It couldn't. So what happens now?
We're going to go home. Winnie is going to be there asleep. We're going to roll into bed, you facing one way, me the other. And we're just going to persist. Status quo goes like it goes.
But you forget.
About what?
The end of the song. And time keeps rolling on. And maybe what's good gets better. And what's bad gets gone.
Is that enough? Just hoping, waiting for something to get better?
I don't know. Sometimes the universe provides more questions than answers.
That's really not good enough.
I know. We've never cheated on each other, and that is something.
That is something. Still love each other.
We do.
We're stuck, you and me, you know that.
Rose,
I miss the bakery. I miss the old days. I miss the dancing.
Me too. I love our daughter.
Me too.
Who's at home watching Winnie's?
I called my sister, so she's watching her for the night.
I want to go home, Rose.
Me too, Dan. Me too.
Little bit better, and maybe what's bad gets gone.